welcome. And thank you for watching and listening. Tonight we're going to do a moon theme because today is a new moon in Scorpio. And I was going to start Chronicles of Narnia today, but I'm feeling the moon and the fall theme. So let's light our little pumpkin beeswax candle. And you probably hear my dog walking around. I do not edit these videos, so I hope it just adds to the experience for you. Here we go. I hope you're doing well today or tonight, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are. And to go along with the fall theme, Banjo, go lay down. Go lay down, Banjo. Okay, we're gonna play with some decorative corn just to get started. Look how pretty this corn is. It's actually popping corn. It's called Dakota Black. It's a heritage variety, so it's extra good for you. Got it at the farmer's market. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside so it doesn't catch on fire. So, tonight is the moon theme, and we will read Rabbit and the Moon. But first, we are gonna read about one of the moons. This book is called 13 Moons on Turtle's Back, a Native American Year of Moons. And we're gonna go to the one that I feel is appropriate. Look at the beautiful colors of fall. This is about the 10th moon. Moon of falling leaves. See if we can get the words in there. Good. Okay. Long ago, the trees were told they must stay awake 7 days and nights, but only the cedar, the pine, and the spruce stayed awake until that 7th night. The reward they were given was to always be green, while all the other trees must shed their leaves. Can you see the little raccoons? So, each autumn, the leaves of the sleeping trees fall. They cover the floor of our woodlands with colors as bright as the flowers that come with the spring. The leaves return the strength of one more year's growth to the earth. This journey the leaves are taking is part of that great circle which holds us all close to the earth. And that was about the 10th moon from the Cherokee Nation. Thank you. This is a beautiful book. If you're into the moon and you have children, you want them to feel connected to nature more, it's a good one. And now, Rabbit and the Moon. This is one of my son's books. His middle name is Moon. So we got a lot of moon stuff when he was little. Thank you for liking and subscribing. deeply appreciate your time and energy. This book was dedicated to Eric, who reaches for his dreams, to all those teachers who help make children's dreams come true. Okay, I think I need to move this a little so I can turn the pages easier. There we go. You can still see the fire. I want you to still see the fire. There. That's better. Once long ago in the morning of the world, there was a rabbit. He was like most other rabbits except for one thing. He had a dream. It was the sort of dream that will not go away. That is there when you are asleep and awake, and tugs at you even when you are trying to think of something else. The dream that tugged at Rabbit tugged so hard it made his ears wiggle and his nose twitch, was the dream of riding upon the moon at night far above the earth. Rabbit had always known the earth from very near. His nose knew the scents of leaves and mushrooms and fresh green grass. His ears knew the sounds of brother moose rustling and cricket singing. But Rabbit's eyes longed to see the earth from high above, to see the darkness of the forest and the sparkling of the waters. Rabbit had always known the moon from far away. It drew close only in the reflecting pool where he drank at night. He longed to see how bright it truly was, and how it slipped past the stars across the sky. It would be the grandest thing he could imagine, to ride the shining moon among the stars, and to see the beauty of the earth below. So Rabbit watched the moon. He watched it when it dangled like a bear's claw over the spruces, watched it when it shone with only half its light like a mushroom's cap, and watched it when it hung as round and full as old porcupine's belly. He watched it rise up in the evening over the eastern edge of the world. He watched as the moon climbed above him and moved across the night sky. Rabbit watched the moon until the sun filled the sky with light, and he could see the moon no longer. And Rabbit thought to himself, if I go to the edge of the world where the moon first comes up, I will be able to catch a hold of it as it rises. So, Rabbit went to the place where he had seen the moon come up, and when it began to rise, big and round and yellow, Rabbit reached out to catch it. He couldn't reach it. He jumped as high as he could. As he could jump, still he couldn't reach it. But Rabbit did not give up. Tomorrow night I will climb to the top of the highest hill, said Rabbit. Surely I'll be able to reach the moon from there. The next evening, Rabbit waited on top of the highest hill he could find, and as the moon began to rise, he stretched out to touch it. It was too far away. He jumped and jumped. The moon rose higher still, and Rabbit could not reach it. But Rabbit did not give up. The only way I am going to reach the moon, Rabbit said, is to fly there. Now, in those long ago times, rabbits were not very good flyers. So the next morning, Rabbit went to the biggest flying bird he could find and said, Sister Eagle, I would like to ride on the moon, but I cannot reach it. Will you take me there? No, said Eagle. I cannot take you to the moon. It is too far, and I am too busy. Little eagle chicks right there, and she gotta feed them. Rabbit found the red-tailed hawk. Brother Hawk, can you carry me to the moon? Asked Rabbit. No, said Hawk. I have more important things to do. I cannot take you. There's a little mouse. Looks like it's eating berries. Look at all those birds. Rabbit went to owl and snow goose, to heron and osprey and pelican, but none of the great birds would carry him to the moon. Still, Rabbit did not give up. We have the great horned owl, osprey, snow goose, great blue heron. When I was a biologist, we would call these GBH, great blue heron. There's a GBH. I don't know what that little guy's supposed to be, but this guy's definitely a pelican. And there's the rabbit and the mouse. Oh, look at all those birds. I love the watercolors. I'm sucking on a cough drop. That's what you might hear that sound of it moving around in my mouth. Instead, he went to the small birds, chickadee, and nuthatch, and song sparrow, brown creeper, and kinglet, and all the tiny birds of the forest. Perhaps together they could carry him to the moon. But the small birds only laughed. We cannot take you to the moon, they said. You are too big and the moon is too far away. Let's see, there's the chickadee. And let's see. Nuthatch. And song sparrow, maybe, even though it doesn't look like it. No, this one, I think. And a brown creeper. I don't know my birds, but look at these little guys down here. He's sad. Rabbit went away by himself and sat very still. His ears dropped. His ears drooped. His nose barely twitched at all. As hard as he had tried, he could not find a way to reach the moon. For the first time, he was ready to give up. Then Rabbit heard a voice behind him say, I will carry you to the moon, Rabbit. Rabbit jumped with surprise. He turned around and saw that there was one great flying bird he had forgotten to ask. Crane. Crane had noticed how hard Rabbit had tried to reach his dream, how bravely he had struggled. Crane remembered his own dream of learning to fly and how others had helped. He decided he would help Rabbit. Crane said, meet me tomorrow on top of the high hill, Rabbit, and I will fly you to the moon. The next day, Rabbit was so excited that he was waiting on top of the hill by noontime. He waited and waited as the sun moved slowly across the sky. Finally, just as the sun slipped down in the west and the moon rose in the east, Crane swooped in on his great wings. "Hold tight to my legs, Rabbit," said Crane, "and I will carry you to the moon." Bunch of little mice watching. Grasshopper and Thistle. Are they gonna make it? Oh, wow. Rabbit held on as tightly as he could, and Crane began to rise into the sky. Rabbit was heavy, and it was hard for Crane to carry him. But he flapped his great wings, and slowly they climbed higher and higher. Once Rabbit looked down at the earth, now small and far away, he felt a lump in his throat. He closed his eyes and held on even tighter. Rabbit's paws hurt. It was hard to hold on, but Rabbit did not give up. There's my banjo boy walking. I think he's gonna lay down. Finally, Rabbit felt something under his hind feet. "It's all right, Rabbit," said Crane. "We are on the moon. You can let go of my legs now." Slowly, Rabbit let go. His paws were stiff and sore and tinged red with blood. But as he opened his eyes wide and began to look around, he forgot how sore his paws were. For what Rabbit saw was even more grand than what he had dreamt. The stars glowed like fireflies in a summer meadow, so close he could almost touch them. And he could see all the earth below, green and blue and beautiful, with white clouds billowing in the skies and great waters cradling the land. Rabbit filled up his eyes with the beauty of the earth and tried hard to keep his ears from trembling. "Thank you, Brother Crane," said Rabbit. Then he reached out his paw and placed it gently on Crane's head. "This is my gift to you," he said. "From now on, you will always wear a bright red headdress." And so it was. Under Rabbit's paw, Crane's forehead became stained with red. I think he's a Santa Crane, maybe? No, because he's white. I don't know what kind he is. You can leave in the comments if you know what kind of Crane he is. Then Crane noticed that he felt a little strange. His head did not hurt. His stomach felt good. His wings still worked, but his legs. Before his journey to the moon, Crane's legs were like those of the other birds, just the right size to carry him about. But now, Crane's legs were long and thin, stretched out from carrying Rabbit to the moon. And Rabbit thinks it's funny. Crane's like, "What's going on?" And so it is today. Crane still walks on stretched out legs, much longer than the legs of other birds. He is tall and proud, and he still wears a red headdress. And Rabbit, some night when the moon is round and full like old Porcupine's belly, look very closely, for you can still see Rabbit there riding across the night sky. There's a rabbit. I hope you have a great